When I was in Dadaab and I told people I was from Minnesota, nearly everyone told me that they had a relative in the Twin Cities. Several people handed me letters to send back to people. I tell you, this is a problem that we have to get solved. And
Democratic Visions is handmade by volunteers for the entire metro region by DFL Senate District 42.
Keith, I want to turn to just one last topic, and that's the Somali problem with getting money sent over to the East African nation of Somalia. You've been a leader in reacting to the Hawalas. Is that
Hawala is the right pronunciation.
And those are money servicing agencies that transfer money. What do you think is the way to approach that problem? Because we now have Somalis in Minnesota, which has got the largest, in the Twin Cities, is the largest population of Somalis in the country, as I understand it.
You're right.
And they can't send money back to their relatives. They can't send money back to camps where people are living. What would be a realistic solution to that problem?
This is a man-made problem because this terrorist group called AlShabaab, which very ironically means the youth, that's all the word means in Arabic, is wreaking havoc on Somalia.
The Islamist rebels AlShabaab attacked this place early on Friday morning. Dobli is a strategic market town at the key crossing point for starving people trying to get to the Dadaab refugee camp just over the border.
They have a drought going on which has caused a famine. I've been to the region. I've never been to Somalia, but I've been to the northernmost part of Kenya, which borders Somalia, to a refugee camp called Dadaab, and it was made for 90,000 people. When I went there, there were 360,000 people. Now there's 500,000 people, and everything from water, sanitation, food is in very, very, very short supply. It's a very sad place to walk through, and things are getting worse every day. When I was in Dadaab and I told people I was from Minnesota, nearly everyone told me that they had a relative in the Twin Cities. Several people handed me letters to send back to people. I tell you, this is a problem that we have to get solved.
And they are protesting against bank closures that some major banks in Minnesota closed their accounts for money wiring. So that's what they hear today, and that's what they're protesting.
It's a very difficult situation and very sad.
They don't receive the money. This is a lifeline. If they don't get the money, they are going to starve, which is already they are dying day by day.
After the conviction of a woman named Amina Ali,
a couple of months ago,
some of the banks said, wait a minute, have we been used to facilitate an illegal transaction? This one bank, Sunrise Bank, Franklin Bank, they looked and said, no, we don't believe we have been. But they said, wait a minute, if we were, would we be in trouble from the government for facilitating such a transaction? And what they found is that no bank or wire service had ever been convicted because they would have to knowingly facilitate an illegal transaction, and they haven't. But they thought, well, maybe we could get hit. So they began to simply say, we're not going to facilitate these transactions. No government agency, not the Treasury, not the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, not any state regulator, not any government entity told them that they couldn't do it. They simply assessed their risk and decided not to do it. So
which I guess is their prerogative.
Which is their prerogative. But what we're trying to do in government is do a carve-out to say that, look, if you make good faith, if you facilitate a transaction in good faith, you have nothing to worry about. To the credit of the Sunrise Bank, the CEO has been trying to work with us. He's reached out, but he just needs to feel that he's not going to run into any prosecutory or regulatory risk as he does these transactions.
Keith, you're a dynamic speaker and one heck of a progressive. Thanks for coming by to Democratic Visions.
Anytime, Tim. Thanks a lot.
Democratic Visions is handmade by volunteers for DFL Senate District 42, Lori Pryor, Chair.